Hello, Goosebumps and Goosebump heads. I'm your host, Christopher the Rupel, and I'm here to talk about, I'm here to do a monster profile. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to do a monster profile of the Denizens of Dark Falls. Yes, that's right. What exactly are they? You know, if we look at the Goosebumps wiki page, it says they're zombies. But zombies that I know are kind of mindless, stupid, only out to do one thing: feast, eat, devour, consume. Sorry, I got Dawn of the Dead stuck in my head there for a second. But we take a look at these guys, and they're not really zombies per se. I mean, I guess they could be a specific type of zombie, but I personally don't think they're zombies. But, so what's a monster profile? What am I going to be doing with this segment? After each book, I want to do a monster profile, whether we're looking at, like, a classic kind of monster. You know, for instance, if we're looking at the Werewolf of Fever Swamp, we'd be talking about werewolves and kind of how it's kind of expands on that concept of it. I'm going to be kind of looking at those, if anything. But if it's more of a monster that needs to be defined, you know, something like maybe the mud monsters from You Can't Scare Me. You know, they're kind of very original, very distinct monsters that just, hey, let's just define these monsters. What defines this monster? It's this. That's what defines it. I'm Jeff Goldblum. I don't know where I'm going with that one. But, so I'm trying to kind of define what this, at least for this episode, I'm just trying to define, what are the Denizens of Dark Falls? What kind of monsters are they? Because they're very unique. They're very different from the average undead that you get in, especially in kids horror like this. So let's kind of look at what makes them their undead selves. We know when you're looking at undead, you have to look at two big major factors to kind of help decide what they may be. Are they intelligent? And are they incorporeal or corporeal? You know, those are two kind of big things you have to look at with undead. Because it's a big definition right there. Because, you know, not all undead are smart. And not all undead can be touched. You know, stuff like that. So, the people of Dark Falls are corporeal. Corporeal? Am I pronouncing that right? I never know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think I pronounced it right. But it's pretty obvious from the start that they can touch things. You have Compton Dawes, who is literally driving a vehicle. You have the kids play with the neighborhood kids from Dark Falls. They play a game of baseball with one another. And, I mean, hey, I don't know any ghost at bat right now, do you? Ooh, I'm the ghost of Babe Ruth. I'm gonna aim for the fences. So, there's that, I guess. So, that's a biggie. And yeah, that's what I'd say. So they're corporeal, as far as we can tell. They're corporeal. I mean, they touch things. And we don't really see them ever go through walls or anything. Though you could make the argument that they could, because they kind of disappear out of nowhere. They kind of just go away. There's a lot of moments early on when we first get to the house. Margaret thinks she sees someone, but then it ends up there's no one there. Like, do they turn invisible? Do they just go through a wall and are just like, you can't find me? That really doesn't define it. But I kind of like that mysteriousness to it all. It's interesting. It's a very interesting concept. Let's not lie to ourselves. It's cool. It's cool to be... I don't know. I was going to do the fire safety, but I need to get off of that. And are they intelligent? Yes. Yes, they are. Do I need to explain how they're intelligent? I mean, the guy can drive a car. I can barely drive a car. That means he's pretty smart. He's smarter than a Rupel. Are you smarter than a Rupel? Can you drive a car above 35? I digress. You know, they do hold conversations with the kids and the neighborhood. I was about to say, Compton Dawes holds conversations with the adults and the kids. The neighborhood denizens of Dark Falls. You know, I mean, hey, you gotta be somewhat smart to play baseball. I mean, it's not that... It's a fun game for anyone to play, but you gotta have some coordination and intelligence to be able to play it. I don't think I can see a zombie hitting a baseball out there being like, doing something like that. Maybe a Solomon Grundy zombie, but that's different because, hey, it's Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. I'm not going to do the rest because I don't remember the rest. So those two big factors kind of help define things. Because for one, they're not very zombie-like, but also they're not really ghost-like either, for that matter. So let's kind of look at what they can do, what they're do they have any special abilities? And I forgot to turn the sound off my phone. Ooh. But yes, what are some abilities they show that kind of make them unique? Unique New York. Unique ghoulish. Well, for one thing, their eyes glow red at certain moments throughout the book. We have in chapter 13 and beyond, you have the beginning with Ray Thurston kind of glowing red eyes staring at the kids. Sorry, not even the kids. It's just I was about to say Margaret. I have started reading Stay Out of the Basement, so don't mind me. Amanda. If I say Margaret, hey, gotta get ready for the next video, guys. But Amanda, she sees that he has glowing red eyes. I find that's a very unique trait. I mean, it's not really an ability. It's just a trait that almost all of them share. I believe when the kids, the ghoulish kids are inside the house saying, "We're dead in your house now," they have glowing red eyes during that time. And they also chuckle up a bit there on that one. So do I. Continuing forward, they have the ability to limited levitation. Yeah, there's a moment. Oh my god, where's my copy of my book? I don't have it on me. Shoot. But in chapter 13, I remember what chapter it's in. It's when Ray is trying to stop Amanda from going into the graveyard, and she this is actually afterwards. This is after she finds out that they've been dead. And he's like, well, I gotta stop you now. And he starts levitating, floating towards her, which is really weird, honestly. I find that to be one of the more weird things that's in any Goosebumps book for, like, these kind of monsters. Because, like, unless they're a ghost, I don't understand why they're floating all of a sudden. That's just weird, right? Yeah, whatever. I guess, I don't know. We're not gonna worry about that. So, yeah, limited levitation. That's neat. It's just gonna, hey, just whoop, whoop. Yeah, I just levitated. You don't see my fanny, so you don't know. I just have really strong leg muscles. I just lifted myself up. Man, I don't know what I'm getting at here. So those were some of the abilities they kind of have, or kind of traits they show. There's not really too much for them. I guess, for one thing, another kind of trait they have actually is to survive, they need at least blood at least one source of blood once a year, as far as we know. We don't know whether it needs to be a whole family, if it needs to be a single person, or what have you. Kind of vampiric, but not like a true vampire kind of ability. I mean, vampires need you feed your vampire once a week, right? You feed them more than that, they're gonna get ornery. They're gonna be like, I can't wait to eat again. Grr, I'm so hungry. No, feed your vampire once a week. Just trust me on this one. Just leave your pet monster alone. Let them eat once a week, okay? Alright. I digress. But they need it at least once a year, as far as we know. And also, after they drain the family or person, those people become the undead as well. So it's kind of like a mix of vampire and zombie. Because, like, with vampires, in more recent years, and I believe most people believe that to become a vampire, you have to be drained, and then they have to allow you to drink their blood. That's how you become a vampire. That's kind of like the universal way people like it. Because, it's not like just, oh, you're bitten, now you're a vampire. Lame. That's zombies for you. Yeah, zombies just spread their infection or whatever on you. They just go, you're a zombie now. Sorry. So that's a very unique trait. I was about to say, like some undead don't need food. I mean, hey, ghosts don't eat food. They don't need it. Some vampires and zombies clearly do. Like, I feel like that's a very corporeal kind of thing. I guess no, not always, because some of them kind of drain you of emotion. Those incorporeal drainers of emotion. Tell me about it. I'm being drained right now. Get out of here. No. So to continue, they have a couple weaknesses also. These guys have at least two major weaknesses that I like to at least define as weaknesses. The first one is dogs can tell that they're undead. That's kind of a big weakness when you think about it. That is, it's kind of like Terminator. In Terminator, dogs can sense if you're a robot, Dogs can sense if you're undead or a robot. That's why they're good boys or girls. They're good. They like to be like, hey, that's not good. Don't let that in my house. Thank you, owner, for listening to me. You're welcome, doggo. Pet, pet, pet. I don't even know if that was on screen. But hey, yeah, I was about to say being sensed, and we do see that in later at least in one Goosebumps book. I know, as far as I know, does bring up the whole dogs can sense the undead. Ghost Beach, which we'll get into, months from now. Yes, very much months from now. Continuing from that, they have a severe weakness to bright light, aka halogen lights, and sunlight. Sunlight and halogen light will kill them. They will literally start melting, turning into dust. Very vampire-like. Yeah, that's about to say. I mean, I feel like some other undead might be weak to the light. I feel like there's some kind of ghost out there that is weak to bright light. Like, that's gotta be a thing, right? At least in someone's culture. There's gotta be like, oh, ghosts only come out at night because darkness encompassing me. Yeah, we're good. We don't need to talk about my favorite book and my favorite Metallica song based on one of my favorite books. Thank you very much. I digress. So yeah, two pretty major weaknesses on that front. So what the fuck are they? They're kind of an amalgamation of a bunch of different... It's like R.L. Stine was like, I like this about them. I like this. I like this part about zombies, kind of them, being very, being, clearly undead. No. Hold up, before anything, this is my argument against zombies real quick. They go to the cemetery, but there's no, they clearly got buried, right? But there's no, open ground or anything. I guess they could have just reburied it, but I feel like there would be, somewhat No, I guess not. Okay, I guess I'm wrong on this one. I just logicked myself out of that one. Good job, Chris, for taking yourself down. I hate myself. It works out so perfectly. Okay. But let's get back on. Let's get right there, right here, right now. Okay. We're going to be... what are they? What are they? I don't think they're zombies. I don't think they're ghosts. I don't think they're vampires. They're kind of an amalgamation of all three. Just, they're very unique monsters, honestly. And I feel like we should give them their own name. I find that... I'm just going to throw this one out there. I think they should be called Steingeist. Since R.L. Stine created them, and they're based off of his work, Steingeist. It's key because they're very ghost-like, but they're also very unique. And I don't really want to... I think Steingeist has a good ring to it, It's like, ooh, Steingeist. Ooh, spooky. Ah. So, that's what I'm defining them as. They're just a very unique monster that R.L. Stine creatively created. Oh, this guy ain't that creative because he can't think of two different words. Unscripted. This is what happens when I'm unscripted. But, hear me out. I think that's what they should be called. I think they should be called Steingeist. They're their own unique thing. I'm not expecting the wiki page to take this or anything. No, far be it from them to take anything from me except for corrections. Thank you for fixing PD's name on the wiki page, Spongy. You win this round. But I digress on that. But hey, you know what? Maybe you think they're a specific monster. Maybe you're like, oh, they're revenants. They're definitely revenants, which is a very specific type of undead. Be my guest. Put your explanation down in the comments. I would love to read it. I'd like to revisit this. Maybe if there's enough people who kind of give their own ideas, maybe I'll revisit this topic of what exactly they may be. You know, give me a description and I'll clearly give you credit. You know, obviously I'll be like, hey, this is what their comment says right here. And there you go. Well, thank you for joining me this week on monster profiling, I guess. I don't know what to call this. I guess Goosebumps Monster Profile. That's what this is called. If you enjoyed what you heard, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. That kind of stuff really helps people, you know, find the videos. That's what I really enjoy making Goosebumps content. I don't want to just focus on the books. I do want to look at other things kind of like this. I want to give a monster profile. I want to talk about other things. Speaking of which, I'm not ready to leave that dead house quite yet. I have 2 more video concept ideas I have. Next week's video, I'm only going to talk about next week's video though. Next week, we're going to talk about the unreleased sequel to Welcome to Dead House. That's right. You want to know about that one? Join me next week when I talk about that one. It's going to be a thrill. And also, hey, if you really want to help support the show besides rating, reviewing, and other things, you have money that is burning a hole in your pocket. You have $1 that is burning a hole through your pocket. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/speakingofwhich. I do this content for free. I release the podcast for free and the videos for free, clearly. I mean, they're on YouTube or they're on SoundCloud and all those other things. But I wouldn't mind getting a little bit, you know, it's a boost of confidence, honestly. Is if you think my work is good enough to pay $1 for, to get bonus episodes every week, to receive, get to listen to the podcast a week early almost. I would release the videos earlier, but I'm just going to be nice and say I probably won't because YouTube's algorithm is complete hot garbage. And if you don't upload something immediately, it hates you for it. It really does. I really hate YouTube. I wish there was another system. But I digress. But yeah, you'll get so many more. You'll actually get show notes. I do have show notes for this episode. You'll get those show notes kind of accumulated together in a Welcome to Dead House kind of fashion. I'll just be like, Welcome to Dead House notes, and you'll have all the video notes that I have there. So keep an eye out for those if you want to join the Patreon. $1 a month gets you everything. Also, another biggie with the Patreon is you can decide what I talk about. You know what? You're like, Rupal, I don't want you to talk about these books in order. I want you to talk about this specific Goosebumps. I will skip ahead to a Goosebumps 2000 or the Horrorland book or the Slappy's Dream World or whatever they're called books. I can't remember what the Slappy ones are called. Slappy's World? Welcome to Slappy's World. I don't know. Going with Elmo's World on that one. But maybe you're like, I don't want you talking about the original 62. I want you talking about this specific book because I love this one or I think this one's super scary. Give me $1 and I'll do it. I will do it ASAP as soon as... Wait, no. As soon as I can buy the book. There we go. Yeah. Not ASAP, but as soon as I can buy the book. Well, thank you. And hey, have a good one, guys. Stay tuned for next week's video. Bye-bye.